Hey folks, Papa Boris here, playing some more Altered TCG. Just really impressed with the level of skill that's evident in this game, even playing with just the starter decks. So we just did Axiom. I think I might have been able to win that game. I'm not sure, but I threw away a removal spell, and I was just thinking about how, like, well, it was something that cost 3 energy and could remove up to a 4-drop, and my opponent was routinely playing things with, like, 4/6/4 type stats. So that is basically the value of the card. It was like a 4/6/4 on my end. Maybe if I had kept it, I could have won. Hard to say. But we're moving across the left, so it's time for me to be Bravos, a very popularly chosen faction here. You get a free 2/2/2 every other round when you are the first player, and we've got the Rolling the Dice hero with craziness. Okay, easy move here. I am not gonna keep this. This does seem to be a new card. I definitely have not seen this before, but I'm not going to keep a 6-drop from the opening hand. This is basically a 3/3/3 for 2, but you need to play something. I mean, I could get it on the rat, but you can't go in different lanes with it. Okay, so I'm not going to keep that, and I'm not going to keep that. So we'll try it like this. Hold on a second. This is a little weird, actually. I could play this, but this doesn't do anything because the sabotage effect is really strong. Actually, both my last 2 games against Bravos, since the game has come back on Board Game Arena, I've lost because of this card, potentially. Like in my last video, this destroyed something crucial from my reserve. So maybe I need to keep this, but like give myself something to play. I don't really want to do this on the opening round. Because this is card disadvantage, you discard something, but it also is discarded itself. It's a tough one, man. I can't play this. I just don't have anything good. I could just play like Rat plus this. Fine, we'll try it. The idea is maybe with the fact that I'm the first player, I can do Rat in the opposite lane, and then my opponent can, if they, like, say, play a 3-drop, then I can choose to put this in the correct spot so that I beat them in that lane. Let's say they put like a 3-drop here. I can beat them in this lane and also beat them in this lane, move twice, and I'm not behind on cards. This is one of those things where in a lot of games like Magic and Hearthstone, buffing creatures is a bit of card disadvantage because if the creature ends up dying, then it's like you lost 2 cards for 1. But in this game, with everything coming off the board anyway, you know, if this had been like a 3/3/3 for 2, it's exactly the same as me sticking it on top of this rat. And this is actually really good because I tie them so they don't move, but they have a 0 stat on one of theirs, so... Oh, wait, no, right, I forgot about the boost. Oh, shoot, 2/3 chance they're going to get a boost. So they are going to move here, but I'll move as well, and I move twice, so I'm fine with it. They rolled a 6, and that's interesting. So obviously it's bad that for the next round they're going to have a free 4/0/4, but it does mean that this round they don't move. So I'm fine with it. It's like they move next round instead of moving this round. That's okay. So all in all, I think this is alrighty. And oh yeah, because also spells go to reserve. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. Because spells go into the reserve just like creatures do, and creatures all get taken off the board every round. So a spell going into reserve versus a creature going into reserve is kind of the same thing. I'm going to let it float here so that it doesn't screw up, because sometimes when I press F5, things get weird. Okay, we've got Sun Wukong, just lots of big stats, really good stuff. This guy also big stats, good stuff. And then there's this. Now this is awkward. I would have liked to play this turn, but my opponent got anchored and didn't put it into reserve. I think I need to keep that because it's just too good. The question is, what do I keep of these? So this is more stats. This is 3/1/1, this is 2/4/2. So this is just 1 better across the board, but this is cheaper to play. What am I doing this turn for 4 mana? Ah, here's the thing. If I play this, I don't have a 1 mana play. So yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of Forest Man. Maybe now I'm overvaluing this bouncer just because I got crushed by it, and I really should have just discarded it. But oh yeah, the thing is I can't even play Sun Wukong because that's throwing a card away. Oops. Yeah, this is weird. This is a weird situation. I can only play 1 card. Basically, no matter what I did, I could only play 1 card because these cards both have a reserve cost of 3, and I drew nothing. I only drew 1 2-drop, and the other things were both 3-drops. So it was kind of just an awkward situation. I could play this just to have something strong to play next turn and then throw a card away. But I think that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What I'm going to do here is... Oh, what are you doing? Oh, right. That's actually fine. I'm totally okay with them spending 75% of their mana to make this thing big. Okay, great. So this actually could be all right. I'm going to play this for card advantage reasons. I'm presuming that with 1 mana, they cannot deal with a 3/3/3 over here. They can roll the die and hope to anchor this again. That's obviously unlikely. But, you know, that's what happens. That's what might happen. Oh, my God, they sent it to reserve. Oh, dear. Okie doke. Well, that suddenly turned amazing. So now next turn, with 5 mana, I can play this, get rid of this so it's not coming back. Or I could get rid of this. But I'm fine with this. I want to get rid of this because it's on average more stats. This is on average 3.5. This is 4. Obviously, it's missing a stat, but that's fine. Okay, I'm happy. I'm very happy. So I am now going to be, because I went twice in the first round, and they didn't move at all. Now, because they rolled a 1, they're not moving at all again, and I'm probably going to move once. My own hand issues prevented me from putting something in both lanes. So I'm only moving once instead of twice, and that is critical. That could be the difference down the line. But still, I'm 3 steps ahead. I'm not behind on cards, and I'm actually getting ahead on cards again. That's the great thing about this card, is it is card advantage, because you play it, and then you get rid of something of theirs. Do I need 2 of these bouncers? I mean, I gotta get mana. I got the same situation. Okay, I definitely need to keep this, because I can play a bouncer and this. So do I either get rid of the other bouncer or I get rid of Sun Wukong? There are more Sun Wukongs. I'm going to just go for the card advantage game, even though I am the quote-unquote fast deck. Like, each of these times that I play it, I get an advantage in cards, and I'm already 3 spaces ahead, so I can stay equal or ahead on cards, and, you know, have this advantage on the board that doesn't slip. Then I'm going to be in good shape. Now, this is understated, so I'm kind of like paying for the card advantage by putting down less stats than what the mana cost deserves, but that's fine. I mean, I am getting a free 2/2 every other round, including this round. So, like, I'll get the 2/2/2 over here, I'll play a 2/2/2 over here, and then I can drop 3 forest where it's convenient. I mean, I guess it'll be on this side, because this is the forest, this is the thing, everything but forest, so this guy is pretty underwhelming in this zone, but that's fine. If this thing can move, Forest Man will be useful coming out of the reserve as a 5 for Forest, and that's fine with me. So we'll go ahead and just drop this here. It's always so devastating when these things come down. So now I'm forcing my opponent to play from their hand, because they can't play this since they have no creature on the board. And then once I see what they do, I can decide where to, you know, to make sure that it still makes sense to put Mr. Forest down here. But yeah, 3 forests for 2 is great. It's going to be difficult for them to beat 5. I mean, obviously, if they play a 2-drop and then they go all in, they could do it. But then they're going to let me move for free here, and then Mr. Forest is going to go to the reserve, and then he'll be able to come in here and clean up. One problem is, by playing Mr. Forest, I am filling up my reserve, because unfortunately this thing has kind of stagnated in here, and I'd have to decide what I want to throw away. Either, no, yeah, well, this is actually pretty easy. This is a 3/3/3 coming out of the reserve, and this is a 3/3/3, but buffing a character. Well, actually, is a buff any better? What is this? When you roll 1 or more dice, I gain a boost. Oh, that's pretty cool. So they actually are gonna get, this is a 3/3. Because they're going to get this, and they're going to do this, and that's going to buff it both times. Okay, I think I'm still going to stick with the plan here. We're going to still put Mr. Forest down here. They basically need to get a decent roll on this to actually beat me on it. And even if they do, they are letting me move this for free. Okay, so time to see what they roll. They rolled a 1. All right, that's great, obviously, for me, because they paid 3 mana for a 1/1/1. That's, you live by the die, you die by the die. All right, so now they're actually in really rough shape because they rolled, yeah, even with a minimum roll, this being a most likely boost still actually lets them move, but crucially, it doesn't stop me from moving. Or no, it does, because it's a boost, and then they rolling a dice. So, oh yeah, okay. So they do stop me from moving, and they, yeah, even with the minimum roll on that all in, they stop me from moving here while also moving themselves, which is a little bit unfortunate. But then again, I'm 3 steps ahead. I am ahead on cards. No, I'm not. Because they have 2 in hand, I have 1 in hand, and I am wasting a reserve card. So I'm not ahead on cards. but I'm not behind on cards, and I'm still keeping up. They moved once, I moved once, and I'm not like horribly behind on cards. Okay, so they got the expected outcome. They're gonna get a boost and another boost, and then yeah, just enough with the 5 to stop me from moving, unfortunately. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to have 6 mana. What am I going to keep? It's awkward playing this guy because I only have 2 mana left. I'd have to draw a 2 mana card in order to make headway. Oh, man. I wish I could play this and get rid of this thing, because this thing is actually disgusting. This thing is so sick it hurts. But my opponent is first next time, so they'll be able to put it out before I can sabotage it. Okay, so a 3/3 that can go in any lane, or a 3/3 that has to target a character. I mean, this is just worse, right? Yeah, that's just worse. I mean, in corner cases, that's better, because like you could buff something big, and a lot of removal cards are contingent on mana costs. There's, you know, some weirdness going on there. Okay, so this is a 4/4/4 coming out of the reserve. And I think I'm going to keep it this turn just to have something to play along Mr. Forest. I think that's just what it is. So the question is, what do I get rid of? Do I try to keep the card advantage angle, or do I try to just overpower with stats? All right, let's try to overpower with stats. I'm going to go for it. So we're going to play Forest and Rat. It's going to be a weak turn. But next turn I have my token, and if I can just move in either one of these zones, I'll be happy about it. I mean, I've got 9 forest here, so I can definitely, okay, not definitely, almost definitely, very likely move 1 lane. I can also potentially split. This is a 5 and a 4, put a 5 and 1, 4 in the other. Try to pressure my opponent that way. Yeah, that might not be a terrible idea. I mean, why not, right? I mean, my opponent could have some weird, terrible hand, or roll a 1 with this again, and then I might actually just move in both lanes, which would be a major coup. So after my opponent discards, they have 4 cards. I have 4 cards. Okay, yeah, I'm not actually behind on cards. I thought I was behind a card, but I am not. Okay, so this is fine. My opponent committed this thing here, which means that what I can do now is play Mr. Forest here. Oh, right, this is the rat. It's just a 1/1/1 right now, so playing it here would make no sense because this thing is going to get boosted no matter what. It may even not make sense to play the rat at all. We'll see what they do. I'm totally fine if my opponent moves once and I move once. The issue is, of course, that water is one of my weak stats here, so my opponent, with, 4 mana, it's not trivial, but they could definitely beat 3 water. I mean, there's single cards that do that. They actually... Can I look at the... Oh, you actually can, yeah. Like, this is a 3 mana, 4 water card. So they could just easily beat me if they have the correct card. But playing the rat there would prevent it from being trivial. It also sets up the rat to be a 4/4/4 for 3, which is only, like, compared to this, that's better, because this is a 4/2/4 for 3. And this is a 3/3/3 for 3. So I have some decent stat arrangement options. Yeah, okay, I think I want to play this rat. I think I want to do it. The advantage of keeping the rat is that it saves a card in my hand that I can play in the future for 1 mana to hide where I'm going to commit my resources. But I think the value of getting it into my reserve and just making sure they can't beat me here. Oh, my opponent quit the game. All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.